Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate it. Today's topic is that debate. Before you turn the channel, I know a lot of people have been beating this to death. I got a different take on it. I really do. And I've been speaking to some more people until I explained my idea. They didn't look at it that way. The debate Thursday night, if you're watching. Now, I don't really care whose side you're on here. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Moderate. Don't miss the point of what I'm talking about. Keep an open mind. Let's just put politics aside for a moment. No matter who you're pulling for in this election, if you watch that debate, you did see one of the candidates was in really bad mental shape, it looked like. Going so far as to having to be helped off the stage after the debate. I don't know if that was meant to be shown or not, but it was. What does this tell other people in other nations about our country? Does it show weakness? I mean, I'm asking you because to me it does show weakness. And I would say that if it was a conservative, I even had problems with Ronald Reagan. They said he had Alzheimer's there at the end and Nancy was kind of running the show. Well, I still had a problem with that. If you realistically put all of the talking points and the politics and you focus on the country you're living in, you know that was bad. You know it was bad. You know how it makes us look on the world stage. We do need a leader that's competent and can move at a moment's notice to handle what's going on in the country. We need that, regardless of your political affiliation. If you're honest with yourself, you would see that this could be problematic. Now, the one candidate that was having the trouble says, nope, no, nothing to see here. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to win this election. Can we really handle 4 more years of that? And I'm not talking about politically. I'm talking about mentally and physically. Guys, you got to be honest with yourself. If you're on the other side, put somebody up that's competent, that's physically able to run the country. Now, with that said, this brings me to another point that I don't think people are actually seeing all of it. With him saying he's going to continue to run, that puts more pressure to get the other candidate out of the race. And we know July the 11th is coming up. That's the sentencing in New York. And we know how, no matter how you feel about it, it's all over the place. Everybody's got an opinion, and that's okay. But it does seem like this has not happened before. Well, it has not happened before in this country. Looks like lawfare to me. I don't understand why we just can't let the American people decide. Now, there's some people talking about, things that could happen. I don't know. I'll say stay peaceful. I'll say stay out of all the craziness. That's why I prep, so I don't have to get into the middle of all that. But if you think about the country, if you really sit down and think about the state of our country, there are wars popped off everywhere. Everybody's threatening war. It doesn't seem like we are the superpower we used to be. I don't know if that's by design or if we have just become more passive and letting other countries. I know we don't need to be in all these places. I do know that, and I don't agree with fighting everybody's wars for them or giving all the money away, and I'm just not even going to get into all that. But now that I let some time go by and I thought about it and I let everybody pontificate on how bad the debate was or how good it was and who won and the bad things, the good things, and the sound bites, and they're missing the whole point is that the country is the one that's suffering. We as a people are suffering financially, economically. Our borders are unsecure. I'm not stating opinion here. I'm stating facts. They can say the border's secure all they want to. We're seeing crime rise. We're seeing more and more people pour over the border. They're catching terrorists coming into the border. And I'm telling you, if you're not prepping now, you need to be. Because it wouldn't take but just a small handful of these folks to do something. And right now I'm worried, probably more than ever, about the state of the country just based on the performance I saw Thursday night. And if you're honest with yourself, you did too. So think about it that way. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I'll hear about it. But if you're being honest with yourself, guys, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, if you're a libertarian, it doesn't matter. Independent, moderate. I'm not trying to sway you either direction. But I am trying to tell you is what we saw with our very own eyes has been going on. And for people to all of a sudden Friday morning wake up and have the epiphany that this was terrible. Guys, it has been terrible for a long time if you've been paying attention. And hopefully you have been. I just don't know how this is going to end well for the country. We're in debt, so much debt, guys. We need to figure something out there. Nobody's got a magic wand. We don't produce as much energy as we did. We've got, Israel, Gaza, Lebanon, Hezbollah, the Houthi rebels. We've got China, Taiwan. We've got Russia, Ukraine. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You've got Canada and the United States trying to get people out of Lebanon. They're telling people not to travel to Lebanon. It's strange times we're living in, but it's a good time to be a prepper. And if you're not, you probably should be thinking about it. I do have some good news. I've been talking to some younger preppers that have come to me, and really shocked me and surprised me that they're this in tune now. It's like they're waking up. One of them actually told me, said, we used to think preppers were crazy, and now we've changed our mind. So, if somebody woke up from it, that's a good thing. It's time to be getting ready. It's time. I did a short on a New York Times story, and I don't think it really promoted like the other ones did on the channel, like YouTube usually pushes them, because it didn't hardly get any views, which I figured that was going to happen. But I wanted to go ahead and do it anyway. That's why it was such a short video. I just wanted to test the system on it, see how it came out. But as far as for me and my family, we are getting ready, stronger and harder. I see bad things, and I don't want to be involved in it. I want to be so left alone, it's unbelievable. Let everybody else do their things. I suggest you do the very same. Don't get caught up. Don't get baited. Don't get, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be upset. But if we do our preps and we look after ourselves and stay out of everybody else's business, we're going to be a lot better off, guys. Grow your own food. Learn to do that. I'm out here just walking around the garden today. Not really a garden update, but the tomatoes, our second stage tomatoes, are looking really good. They're coming along. We've got tons of potatoes, quarts of potatoes put up. Onions. We don't need any more onions probably for another 2 years now after this year. We're going to be canning tomatoes. We've been freeze drying eggs. Going to be freeze drying tomato sauce. We're going to be freeze drying potatoes for scallop potatoes, and for instant mashed potatoes we make our own and freeze dry it, put it up. So guys, I just encourage you to get out there, do what you can for you and your family. You don't have to be a hardcore prepper. You don't have to do anything crazy. Get out there and do something. Everybody else is too worried about putting blame here and talking about all the political stuff on the YouTube channels and everything, and that's okay. They got their thing to do, and I got that. I'm not a big channel. I just come on here and tell you what's on my mind, and that's pretty much it. But from a prepper standpoint is what I'm talking about, not from a political standpoint, not from a Republican or Democrat. This is our country, guys. We live here. We need to be prepared for whatever may come our way, no matter what it is. If you're prepared, you ain't got to worry about anything. And that's the biggest thing we should have took away from the debate. Everybody looks so on the face of everything, and that's where they go with it. You got to look deeper. How does it affect you? The debates really don't affect most Americans directly. But when you start looking at what could happen and come from the debates, then that's where we get into the weeds on it. And then you start figuring out, we can't control it. I mean, we vote for the person we want, and that's how it goes. And that's the way it should be. All this lawfare and tit for tat stuff, just let the people decide. That's all it should be. If you're a good candidate, you'll get the votes. If you're a bad candidate, you won't get the votes. It's not that complicated. But we're trying to make it more complicated, and we're missing the whole point, the whole big picture we're missing. We're too tied up in right and left, and we need to be looking at the country and how it is good for you or bad for you. You be looking at these things. Right now, I see this as a weak country. I don't think that debate helped us. You're even hearing some on the left calling for calls of, stepping down, et cetera, et cetera. That's their deal. I mean, anybody can do what they want to like that. That's up to them. And so I'm staying out of all of that. I'm not picking sides here. I'm just trying to explain how, as me being a prepper, I approach this and I look at it realistically, emotionless. Don't base all your decisions on emotion and what everybody else on TV is telling you or what everybody else on YouTube is telling you. I'm not telling you whether it was right or wrong, the debate, but I am telling you, if you had eyes and you could see that, you did see something. You did. You had to. If you're honest with yourself. Now, you can say all day, agile, sharp as a tack, and you can say that. But realistically, if you're paying attention, guys, you know better. You have to. Think about the country. Don't worry about what everybody else is telling you. Get prepared. Stay prepared. Start doing some of your own stuff. Growing your own food. Looking after you and your family. Stocking up canned goods. All the things you need to be putting back in case of hard times, whether it's something weird, hurricanes, anything like that. Be getting ready. That's the whole thing I'm trying to say. That's all. All right, guys, till next time, I'm Tad. We will talk about it. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope the heat is not beating you up like it is here in Central North Carolina. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching.